Hello, everybody. This is Seth, Head of Operations here at QUOINE, and I am very pleased to be joined by Kevin April, who is CEO and founder of Fanchain. Kevin, welcome.
Thank you, Seth, for having me.
So very excited today to get everyone a chance to learn about Fanchain and the FANZ token, which is going to be conducting an ICO on our ICO platform. And Kevin has a fantastic background and a great story about the token and the project that I'm really excited to share with everyone. Kevin, I want to start off with the following. Tell me about your first, to be involved with something like Fanchain, you have to really love sports. So how did you first start to get into sports? What were your first experiences there?
Well, it's a good question. What I really love is building community. When I was in high school, I built one of the largest Atari communities. And when I was in college, I built one of the largest Macintosh communities. When I found sports, I realized that there wasn't really any topic that was as powerful to connect people globally. The example I like to use is the Olympics. You have countries putting down any disagreement and marching together. So I knew that the skills I had learned in building communities and the combination of those skills with sports was the most powerful opportunity for me to dedicate my life to.
Mm-hmm. Right. I mean, in many ways, when you go to a sporting event, it's actually this instant community of people that are sharing the same experience as you. So I can see how that lends itself. So before you got into Fanchain, and tell me about some of your, because you have a great background as a founder of a few different companies. What were some of your highlights of your career before you got into Fanchain and blockchain world?
Most recently, I was a co-founder of sportsblog.com. Sportsblog is an open blogging platform like Tumblr for sports. The highlight of my time there was really working with the NBA Players Association and the Retired NBA Players Association to create the first ever players-only mobile app. Mm-hmm. So we had a large percentage of NBA players using the app that we developed, mm-hmm. and they were able to receive news and communications from the union, but what made it interesting for us is there was a blogging button built into it. Mm-hmm. So players had the opportunity to share their thoughts right through the official app and create a blog on Sportsblog. Mm-hmm. It was a really great opportunity for fans to see backstage behind some of their favorite athletes and stars.
That's fantastic. That's really great. So as you thought about what was going on in the sports scene today and thinking about blockchain, how did you decide, what was the problem that you thought needed to be solved with Fanchain?
You know, coming from Sportsblog and then founding Sportscaster and being in sports media for about 10 years now, it was clear to me that fans generate billions of dollars in value for leagues, teams, and entities, yet they don't share in any of that upside. Mm-hmm. So there definitely needs to be a way, a decentralized and global way for fans, regardless of which platform they're using, it could be Sportsblog or Sportscaster, mm-hmm. to be rewarded for the value that they're creating. Mm-hmm.
So would this be things like, I don't know, like different logos that they're creating, or, you know, pieces like a blog post that has an insight to a player or statistics or a background about a player that maybe the mainstream media doesn't know about, but the fans that they're so involved in their teams are happy to create?
I think yes, but it's much more than that, because if you think about how fans watch a game in this day and age, everybody has a phone in front of them. Everybody's on a computer. Mm. We really rely on social media and other opinions from fans and athletes to complement the fan viewing experience. Mm-hmm. You can look at Twitter, you can look at Facebook, you can look at any major social network, mm-hmm. and the big driver in those platforms are sports. Mm-hmm. The example that I like to use is Twitter. When mm-hmm. a game is on TV in the US, 50%, more than half of the tweets on Twitter become related to that game. Mm. So fans not only love talking about the teams and the games they love, mm-hmm. But they also rely on it. But mm-hmm. for some reason, there hasn't been a mechanism to align the interests of fans, teams, and rights holders.
Gotcha. Okay. So that's a well articulated statement of the problem. So how is Fanchain sort of creating that value and sort of distributing it back to the people that are providing that extra value into the entire sports ecosystem?
Good question. When we looked at the landscape of existing rewards programs and cryptocurrencies, one thing we noticed was that for the most part, they're completely fungible. The problem with using those existing tokens for the sports market is that fans don't typically follow a specific sport or a specific league. Fans follow a team.
Right.
So the problem that we had to solve was how do we embed team loyalty, team passion into an individual token?
Okay.
What FANZ allows us to do is associate the FANZ token with a particular team. So if you're talking about the World Cup, if you're talking about the Lakers, you're writing a blog post, if you're sending a tweet, for example, not only will you receive FANZ tokens, you'll receive FANZ tokens that contain a special label that will say this is a Lakers FANZ token.
Got it. Got it.
The next step to that, of course, and the reason that we use blockchain was to decentralize it and to make it global. Sportscaster is the first app to use FANZ and Fanchain, but we've created an infrastructure that will allow any website, any team, any league to not only use Fanchain, but to distribute Fanchain to its user base and fan base.
Okay, so let's take a real life use case. So full disclosure, I'm a diehard Warriors fan. We've had it the best over the Lakers over the past few years, but I just want to be clear. I've been a fan since Chris Mullin, Mitch Richmond, Tim Hardaway, the Texas two-step. And so I'm not a bandwagoner. But let's say, for example, that I'm a super fan like I am, and I create a shot chart of Stephen Curry's three-point shots. And I have a Medium blog post, for example, showing the arc of his shots. And that, you know, when his shots reach a certain arc, the percentage of going in is a percentage higher versus, you know, different trajectories. So how would, in the Fanchain ecosystem, how would I, as doing this sort of value add to the sports ecosystem, how do people consume my content? How do I get compensated for generating that sort of content?
So as part of Fanchain, we have this concept called a mint. A mint could be a website like Medium, like Sportsblog, like Bleacher Report. Any website, any app, any team or league that becomes a mint, they have the power to stamp the tokens and reward them to its users.
Okay.
So in that case, it would be up to Medium to decide how many tokens you would receive and how they would be stamped.
Okay.
On Sportscaster, which is a live video platform specifically for sports commentary, by talking about the Warriors, Sportscaster will reward you with Fanchain tokens that are stamped with Warriors.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And the Sportscaster, is there an advertising element here as well, that, or the number of users that come in and view the blog post or the video that determines sort of the reward that I would get for providing that content?
Absolutely. So there's a few ways to answer that. We have a user growth pool. So just by participating on Sportscaster and other mints, you will be rewarded with Fanchain tokens. In addition to that, your viewers can purchase digital gifts. You can make your content premium. So you could say that you only want to open it up to people who send you a certain amount of Fanchain tokens.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And a variety of other ways. It's a really flexible system that gives the power to the individual mint or publishers to decide how they want to accept and distribute Fanchain.
So tell me about, I think you really hit on the key point that people are not just sports fans. I love the NBA, but really I live and die for my Warriors, right? I'll wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning to watch a game. I know we've talked a little bit in the past about how you can brand the tokens with a team or associate a team with the tokens. Tell us a little bit how that works.
Good question. So it was really the challenge we had when designing this token, because we started with the ERC 721 token, and that's CryptoKitties, right? What ERC 721 allows you to do is to stamp metadata into each individual token.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're doing on the back end is we have a giant spreadsheet essentially in our GitHub, and we have listed thousands of teams and leagues, and every team has a unique numerical identifier.
Wow. Okay.
So what happens is any mint can simply do a lookup against that spreadsheet essentially, and that is immutable, and it allows the Fanchain token to be associated with this particular team. So because we wanted Fanchain and the FANZ token to be accepted outside of the ecosystem, we created this very unique ERC20 token that contains ERC 721 characteristics.
Got it. Amazing. Amazing. So how would this, I know it, part of the development plan is a wallet, right? Will there eventually be the ability to, in your wallet, see the different types of tokens, and 49ers token, a Warriors token, San Francisco Giants token, that sort of thing?
Absolutely. So built right into Sportscaster, there's a FANZ wallet. There's going to be a standalone FANZ wallet. And we're working with some third-party developers to support the FANZ token from day one as well. What makes it really cool and unique and different from other wallets that you're used to is exactly what you said. You open up your wallet and you see a great pie chart and the breakdown of the different team FANZ tokens that you receive presented in a very visually beautiful way.
Fantastic. And, you know, we've been really focused, I've been focused on the US scene, but actually FANZ, as we know, we have the World Cup going on right now. We'll have the Olympics in Tokyo in 2 years. You, I know, have ambitions to go global with this concept. Tell me about where you see Fanchain going and the FANZ tokens going in the future.
Of course, we see the global market much larger than the domestic US market, of course. If you think about how fans consume sports, for the most part, it's moving online, OTT platforms. So imagine if by talking about your favorite game, by blogging about your favorite team, you were able to receive FANZ tokens and then use those tokens to unlock the World Cup, to unlock a live sporting event at on a global nature. So we anticipate that globally, we will build an ecosystem of different mints who accept FANZ tokens to unlock content or even to purchase merchandise. Right.
Now tell me, how do you see the value of the FANZ token? It's FANZ. We talked about this I think about a week ago, which is a great name, FANZ.
Yes, the FANZ
because it's
token.
really, it's really about the fans, for the fans, between the fans, right?
Yeah.
And goodness gracious, there's no shortage of sports fans around the world. How do you see FANZ token holders benefiting as the ecosystem develops?
So I just have to say one thing about the FANZ token. David Stern, who was our first outside investor and a close advisor, that was his one request. You know, he said it has to be called the FANZ token.
Got it.
So we were very happy that we were able to lock that down with your help, of course. So that's great. It's interesting because as the Fanchain ecosystem grows, there's going to be more and more options and more places to use the FANZ token. Whether that's a storefront where you can buy memorabilia, whether that's a ticket center where you can purchase tickets, whether it's an OTT platform. The more mints that join our ecosystem, the more in demand the FANZ token will be. So imagine, just to go back to your example, if Medium joined as a mint and they started distributing FANZ tokens to content creators who wrote about sports. There's a very limited quantity of FANZ tokens, and the global sports market is enormous.
Gotcha.
Simply by sharing the passion you have for your favorite team, you're going to benefit by being able to use that in a growing number of places.
Absolutely. It's laying the groundwork for letting people capitalize and monetize their passions and sharing their creativity about sports. So let's talk about partners. I know that, not only you a fantastic entrepreneur, and there's a lot of information about your background on the ISO landing page, and your great experience in sports, but really, as you well know, to really get leverage, you need great partners. So tell us about some of the partners that have been brought on board as part of the project.
So to start with our advisory board, we have absolutely some of the most powerful and successful people in the sports world. Starting, of course, with David Stern, the former commissioner of the NBA, who is credited in making the NBA a global powerhouse that it is.
Right.
And very few people have the expertise or the connections, for that matter, to take something domestic and make it as global as David Stern did.
Sure.
Dono Chupak is our chairman. Dono Chupak is the managing partner of the ABA team, the Spirits of St. Louis, and is credited for the best sports deal of all time.
Yes.
It's a fascinating story. I encourage you to look into it. So that's on the business side, among many others. And then in terms of consumer adoption, we have several very high-profile athletes and investors who play an active role in the company. Jordan Davis, for example, who not only is an excellent athlete and football player, but also an entrepreneur and loves technology and loves making a global impact. We have Steve Smith, who is a sportscaster on NBA TV right now. We have an enormous network of influencers and connections to really assist us in achieving what we aim.
It's really great because even within the project, you really created your own ecosystem. You have management with David Stern. You've got the players like guys like Vernon Davis, all pro tight end from the San Francisco 49ers, first round pick, incredible player in his time. And then guys like me and you, they're huge fans. So you really rounded out the whole ecosystem to create a balanced team there. And that's great. So what about your partnerships with leagues and teams and associations? Where are you and what do you see coming up in the future?
So we do have a partnership with a major sports entity that I'm not able to announce yet, but we will be announcing it next month. And likewise with various other leagues and sports entities that we've been working on for quite some time now. So we have some exciting news to share on that front pretty soon.
Fantastic. Okay, and so let's talk a little bit about the ISO itself. I know, we're very honored to be working with you, Kevin, and the entire team. So the ICO is actually going to be kicking off on June 30th, and we're going to be starting off with a private sale. The private sale will be running for 1 week. Is that right?
I believe the dates are a little bit longer than a week, but it is starting on June 30th, yes.
Okay. And then we'll move into a full-blown public sale. So you want to talk a little bit about the token pricing and economics and bonus structures?
What's important to us right now is to allow early supporters and early contributors to get in at a very special rate. And we're very excited to partner with QUOINE to do this. Not just because of your reputation, but because it is a global exchange and because we're very much global focused right now. So on June 30th, we invite all of the QUOINE customers to come in and take advantage of this special opportunity we have for them.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And for those who don't have an account, you can go to cryptos.com and sign up for an account. Our onboarding process has been hugely revamped. We're now seeing people getting onboarded in a minute or less. The tokens are right there in the ICO market. All you need to do is deposit. We're now supporting Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, or Cash. We've made it really easy for people to participate, and really excited to be partnering with the Fanchain team. So, Kevin, any dreams here for you? If where do you see Fanchain? Let's call it 5 years from now. Where do you see the whole ecosystem taking off to?
We want Fanchain to be the de facto current cryptocurrency for the sports market, whether that's buying popcorn when you're watching a game, whether that's paying for your next subscription to NBA League Pass or any other international OTT platform, to buying tickets, to purchasing memorabilia. We want fans to be able to share their passion, get compensated with Fanchain tokens, and then use those Fanchain tokens to enhance their own life and their own fan experience. So we want Fanchain to be the global sports cryptocurrency, and we know that we have the team and connections and technology to pull it off.
That's great. Well, Kevin, thank you very much for joining us today. I would love to bring you back when we have more announcements to come about the project. I know there's some big things cooking up, and we can't be more excited and honored to be partnering with you on this ICO. We will we'll see how everything goes June 30th. And Kevin, thank you again. The ticker is FANZ. You'll see the landing page right on Cryptos. And welcome everyone. I know we need participants for this ecosystem to be really successful.
Absolutely. We're ready for them.
Great. Thanks again, Kevin. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye, guys.